Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make this fabulous DIY balloon centerpiece. This is a step-by-step tutorial, so you'll be able to make them for yourself or for your loved ones. I hope you enjoy it. Let's jump straight in. To make this balloon centerpiece, you are going to need two different colours of balloons. I am using a blue and a white. These are just standard finish balloons. They're not pearl or anything like that. These are Qualatex 5-inch latex balloons. I've also got a Qualatex Super Foil star to go on the top of my display, and I've got some ribbon. That's all that you will need. Oh, and a balloon pump. This is a two-way balloon pump, so when you pump it out it blows air, and when you push it back in it does, so it saves a little bit of time. So first of all, best thing to do, split your colours out into two sections, and what we're going to do is inflate the small latex balloons first. So take your first one, and I just do two pumps and hold one in one hand whilst you pump up the other one. Again, two pumps, do them the same, and you'll get them exactly the same size. And then what you'll want to do is tie them together. So cross them over and tie them like so. And I like to cut off the little necks of the balloons because it just makes it look tidier. So I'm going to show you this one slowly again. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Put them together, cross them over, and just tie them both together, and then cut off the necks. That's the first step done. Okay, so now we've got all of our balloons inflated, we're going to make our tower. So what we need to do is get, these are called duplets, and we want to make them now into quads. So what we are going to do is get one set of each and just pop them across each other like this. Let's move that way. Just going to pop them across each other, and then we're just going to twist them together to make the quad of 4. And then we're just going to do that with all the others. So now we've got one done, let's just repeat the process again. So just get your two colours, cross each other and twist them together. That just secures them nicely. You don't need any other ribbons or balloons or anything to tie these together at this stage. It's just held in place by the friction of the balloons together. And then to make the tower, we're going to get the first one, then the second one, and then the third one. And this creates our spiral. If we were to keep going, adding them to the top, your spiral would just keep going round, and it looks really, really good. So now I'm just going to grab a piece of ribbon. So let's cut a piece of ribbon. I don't know what I've done with my scissors. We don't need very much ribbon. So this is just normal curling ribbon, and all we're going to do is pop it on the top there, and then I'm going to just go down here, and then I will go in and out as a figure of 8, and then I'll go down to the bottom one, and again as a figure of 8, and I shall come back up to the top again, and I'll just wrap it around the first one a couple of times, and then I'll put my scissors inside there, snip it, and make sure that at the top here there's no ribbon visible, and again at the bottom there's no ribbon visible. And in the balloon industry we call that the mechanics of the design, and we don't want to see any of the mechanics on show because it looks messy when you do have it on show. So that's a really nice little table tower, and now you can see why I cut off the necks of the balloons, because if I had left those on, they would all be sticking out here now and adding extra bulk to the middle of the design, which we just don't need. So it's just an aesthetic thing really, but it does help. So now we need to inflate and personalise this star. So I'm going to put that out of the way, and I'm going to inflate this again with my hand pump. If I was in the shop I would probably use my electric inflator, but because we're here we're going to use this. So don't overinflate it. Just make sure that you are happy with that. It's quite nicely done. Foil balloons generally this size have a self-sealing valve, and it's basically like a piece of cellophane inside the balloon, and it's about that long. It comes up to about there, and when you inflate it with the air it opens up, and then when you stop inflating it, it squishes itself back together and stops any air or helium, if you're using helium, from escaping. So it's pretty good as well. So let's just tie this balloon off, because we're going to want to put it onto our top of our display. Now what I like to do is sandwich myself between the balloon and the desk or the workbench or whatever, and all we're going to do, pop your foil balloon flat, and then get the neck of the balloon, and we're going to hide all of this because it's a really ugly thing to be flapping about. So get your ribbon, pop it over there, fold it across, and then roll the neck of the balloon until you get to the top like this, and then tie a double knot. So now all of that neck of balloon has gone, and we've got a really nice neat point that we can use to put on the top of our display. So now we need to personalise this star. So before I get started on the Cricut, I'm going to measure the balloon and work out the size of this square in the middle for me to put my vinyl sticker on here. Now, I don't want any vinyl to be on these wrinkles here, because the vinyl won't stick very well and it will start to lift prematurely. I would expect a vinyl decal to last on a foil balloon somewhere between 4 and 5 days, looking really good. If it goes on a little bit longer, it will start to wrinkle, because obviously the balloon will begin to lose air or gas, and then it goes a bit squishy. But I want to make sure that my sticker message only covers this area. So I've got my ruler, and it's about 15 centimetres by 15 centimetres, so 15 centimetres square for our decal. So I've got my design ready. I'm just waiting for my laptop to connect to my Cricut, and I'm going to go for white on this one. I'm going to just cut that piece off. That'll go in my scraps folder. And then I need to measure my piece of vinyl here, and it's 15 by 15 centimetres. I'm going to grab a pencil, and my vinyl's got a grid on the back of it, and these are centimetre marked out little squares, but I'm not going to use those today as a guide because I just want to do it quickly and I don't want to be bothered with counting them. So I'm going to do 16 by 16. I always allow an extra centimetre just because I like to have a little bit spare around the edge. And I'm going to just take my metal ruler and my craft knife and just cut that out nice and straight there. Actually, I'm going to put that back around there because I might need a piece that size in the white. Just going to put that there. There we go. Now I need to grab my mat, and I'm using a standard grip carrier mat today. This is a Cricut mat, so it's really sticky. And I don't know if you've ever noticed, this is a little tip. On your mat you have these little lines here that come out on the top, on the centimetre side, and also down the left hand side of the axes. And that is where your machine won't cut. So when you're looking at the screen that shows you your design, you'll have a red line that goes around, and that is where that red line is depicting. So when you put your vinyl on, just put it next to that mark so you can still see the markings, and then you'll not waste basically 5mm of vinyl all the way around. So that's a little tip for you. Okay, so we're ready to go. So we're just going to pop the mat in. I am choosing my pressure as less on my laptop, and then I'm just going to hit the Cricut button and it's going to do its thing. So now that the cut has finished, I'm just going to check that it has cut, and it looks like it has. I think I might have a bit of damage on a couple of these letters, and I think that is down to the blade being really sharp again. So I don't know if you can see that on here because I'm a bit shady. There's a couple of bits that have lifted, so I'm going to have a look at it. Okay, so I've got all my weeding done now, so I need to get my decal onto my transfer tape and get it off of the mat. So as normal, flip your mat over, bend your mat back and pull your mat away from your design. And I always put my protective cover back onto my mat just to stop any bits of fluff or dust going onto it and affecting the stickiness of my mat, because they're not very cheap to buy. So here is my vinyl decal. Happy birthday, Grandad. I've just got a piece of paper transfer tape, and all I'm going to do is pop it on there. This is a piece I've used a couple of times, so I'm not sure how sticky it's going to be, but I prefer the paper stuff to the plastic, and I get maybe 3 or 4 balloons out of each one. So all I'm doing is just pop it on and use my large scraper to just give that a good press down. And then once that's on there, I'm just going to flip it over again, and I'm going to pull back my paper backing. There we go, at a 90-degree angle. There's a bit of dog fluff on here, which isn't very good. Okay. There we go, and that's on there nicely. So now I'm just going to get my balloon. Here is my blue balloon. And all I'm going to do is lay it nice and flat. I'm just seeing how straight it is just by eyeballing it, and all I'm going to do is hold it at the bottom where the ribbon is, and I'm just going to flatten it out across the middle, and I'm going to just work my way out to the sides. And again, work my way out to the side. So always start pressing it down in the middle and go one side and then the other side. And then we can peel back our transfer paper. Now this transfer tape is a low tack paper. It's a little bit like a masking tape, so it's not strong at all. Some transfer papers and transfer tapes will pull the colour off of a foil balloon, and I've tried quite a lot of them since I have been doing balloons like this regularly, and this is the best one that I have found. It is made by a company called D-Tape, or D-Tape, I don't really know how you say it, and I get mine online from MDP Supplies, and I buy it in a big roll. Just pull back the transfer paper to leave the vinyl on the balloon. Okay. There we go. And then once it's on there, just give it a little press down with your fingers and just make sure that it's all in the right place. Perfect, looks pretty good. Okay, so now we need to attach that to a spiral tower, which I have got here. So let's just pop it down so it stands up. And all we're going to do is just get our balloon and we're going to pop it on the top. So we've got our balloon spiral tower, and all we're going to do is grab our foil balloon, and we're going to get the two pieces of the ribbon that it's held on with and just pop that on the centre, and then we're just going to pull that down, and then again another figure of 8 motion, so just like that on one side, and again on the other side of the other piece of ribbon another figure of 8 motion. So it pulls it nice and tight. Okay, and again we have these little bits of ribbon now that are sticking out, so I'm just going to put my scissors in and carefully snip that off and tuck in any bits that might be showing. And again on the back I've got another little bit here, so I'm just going to snip that off. And there we have it, our finished tower. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please subscribe, like and comment, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.